hearing Bhagavad Gita, we heard that there are 5 factors of action in this world. And that one who has no ahankar, he who has no spirit of egotism, and whose mind has no attachment for the fruits of actions, does not kill anybody, although he kills all, and is not bound by his actions. And then we heard last time, knowledge, knowable, and the knower. These 3 are the stimuli to action, while the instrumentality of the senses for doing, the deed, and the doer are the 3 basic instruments of action. So knowledge, knowable, and the knower are stimuli to action. And instruments of action are senses, action, and the doer. Then here there is explanation. There are 2 principles which guide a person to action. 1, stimulus to action, and 2, subject matter of action. The principle that precedes an action is its inspiration or impetus. It is the subtle existence of action or the nascent conception that exists in the mind before it is translated into action. Desire is there first. Gurudev explained that we commit sins because we desire to commit sin. And the root cause of that desire to commit sin is ignorance, which is aversion to absolute knowledge, Krishna. Every act in its incipient stage is characterized by its instrumentality, karam, objectivity, karma, and subjectivity, karta, that is doer. In other words, the knowledge of instrument of action, the knowable object of action, and the knower of action all exist as instrumental, objective, and subjective cases respectively, before the external manifestation of all actions. From what has been said by the Blessed Lord Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Gita, it is manifest that the Jnanins must adhere to Sattvika Tyak as sannyasins, but the Bhaktas must abandon Karma Yoga in toto, as mentioned in the Bhagavatam 11th canto, 11th chapter, 32 verse, in which a bhakta, being strongly convinced that devotional path is the only path to attain final beatitude, forsakes all religions of the world enjoined in the scriptures. It is to be noted that the true meaning of the words of God and that of their exponents depend on the purification of intelligence. So those who awaken faith in Krishna, that I am his eternal servant, they will abandon Karma Yoga. It is not for them. They will do service of Krishna. And how much one can understand the words of God, that is Shastra, depends on the purification of intelligence, according to capacity, one will understand. True knowledge depends on pure intellect, which is again dependent on Nishkama Karma Yoga or desireless action. So, to attain the true knowledge, a sannyasin must resort to Nishkama Karma Yoga. When, by so doing, one's heart becomes pure, he may ignore fruitive action. So, one has to first do Nishkama Karma Yoga. That will purify his heart, and then knowledge he can get, Gyan, that I am eternal, that is non-eternal. When he realizes this, then he does not need to do karma, because he has no any false ego of this world. I'm sattvic, I'm this. No. Already he understood he is nirguna. So this is in general, but bhakti, being independent of karma and jnana, does not wait for the purification of the heart. Here it is quoted from Gita and Bhagavatam, also 11th canto again. So it does not depend. Immediately when one has faith in Krishna, that he is eternal master with eternal son, he is eligible for bhakti, even if his heart is not pure. But this shraddha is necessary, and this shraddha comes by bhakti unmukhi sukriti, when it is gathered. If bhakti itself is so powerful, why then is action incumbent upon the bhaktas? The answer is, knowledge of the self proper is not the only knowledge, Gyan, but the truth about the self proper is also knowable, Gyeya, and he who is in the know of these truths is the knower, Gyata. But this triple knowledge is related to karma, a fact which is to be known by sannyasis. The trinity of knowledge, knowable, and the knower is indispensable to karma. For without Nishkama Karma Yoga, the above trinity or the three principles of Jnana, Gyeya, and Gyata cannot be acquired. That by which anything is knowable or known is knowledge, Gyan. So knowledge is the instrumental case. That which is knowable is Gyeya. In other words, the principle of the jiva is the objective case, and he who knows this truth about Jivatman is the subjective case, that is to say, the knower or the Gyata. Hence, the trinity or the three principles of Karan or instrument, Karma, object, and Karta, subject, are known as Karma Sangraha, which is associated with Nishkama Karma Yoga. In other words, the principles of knowledge, knowable, and the knower are inseparably connected with Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then there are many evidences here from Gita, many chapters. One second, I will see this word, incumbent. necessary, as a duty or responsibility. So if bhakti is so powerful, why then is action incumbent necessary upon the bhaktas? The answer is, knowledge of the self proper is not the only knowledge, but the truth about the self proper is also knowable, and he who is in the know of this truth is the knower Gyata. But this triple knowledge is related to karma. Maybe it will further come later. The karma from false ego is not necessary for devotees, because devotees already understood that they are eternal servants of Krishna. So they cannot do karma in the sense of working from some worldly ego. But they are also working for Krishna and for their maintenance, but that is not out of false ego. It is from their ego of being eternal servant of Krishna. They may also accept Varna Ashram Dharma as much as is favorable for their maintenance, and they will do Shravan Kirtan. So those who are not liberated souls, devotees also, those who are still living in this world, they have to do something for their maintenance. So that seems like karma, but it is not, because they are doing for the sake of service of Krishna. But they will have to do something for their maintenance. It is different than for liberated souls. Those who are already in Golok Vrindavan, they have no any material body, so they don't need to do any work to maintain the body. But in the lila, they will do, like gopis, they will do churning of milk and like this they will do, but that is all lila or all spiritual. It is not like in this world. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridhaiva guna vedataha prochyate guna shankyane yathavat shrinutanyapi. In the Shankya system, Jnana, Karma and Karta are mentioned to be of three kinds according to the three qualities of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Listen to them properly. Now it will be more clear what is meant by Jnana, Karma and Karta, the doer, according to three gunas. Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayam ikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tat jnanam vidhi sattvikam. Know that knowledge to be sattvic, by which one unified eternal principle is realized in all divergent beings. So one unified eternal principle is realized in all divergent beings, in all jivas. So here explanation. The jiva exists in all beings, and in a human being in particular, in order to enjoy the fruits of the actions done in this birth and in the previous ones. The jiva, being transcendental and eternal, is immortal, though existing in a particular frame. The knowledge that though there are innumerable jivas in the world holding divergent views, they are uniform in one respect, that is, in transcendental knowledge. This is sattvic gyan, to see that in all there is jiva, eternal. One who can see like this, he has sattvic knowledge. Although jivas as a living entities, human, animal, all, and humans, there are so many different types and with different mentalities like this, but still they are all unified, that they are all jivas, eternal jivas, that Atma is there inside of them. One who knows this is in Sattvic Gyan. Prithaktvena tu yant jnanam nana bhavam pritagvidhan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tad jnanam vidhi rajasam. Know that knowledge to be rajasic, which being characteristically different, sees divergent principles in all different beings. So they will see they're all different. That is not same it is more narrow vision, not like that wide vision. Rajasic people, they cannot see as sattvic people see. And tamasic people also cannot see. And those who are sattvic, they also cannot see like Rajasic people. Rajasic people, they will always have this false ego and fighting and mine and your and revenge and so many things. Those who are in Satya Guna, they cannot see like this. Why they are uselessly doing this? Or like Prahlad Maharaj, he had transcendental knowledge. So how he can see like this? This is my country, this is your country, this is their friends, their enemies. How they can see like that? Cannot see like that. Explanation. The knowledge that the jivas in different births, jiva here does not refer to Atma, but to living entities. Here it is, whether the births be celestial, that is demigods, human or animal, are all different from one another, and that they possess different characteristic features and qualities. This is Rajasic Gyan. Separate souls exist in separate individuals, and hence their tastes and religions, etc., are separate. Atman suffers pain or enjoys pleasure. It is matter, spirit, an atom, it is man, etc. All such knowledge is Rajasic Gyan. Separate souls exist, that they are different. Rajasic people see. They cannot see one uniform, eternal, same characteristic Atma in all living entities. They will see their souls are different. My soul is different than another person's soul. And that is why they have different tastes and separate individuals, all this. Atman suffers pain or enjoys pleasure. It is matter, spirit, an atom, it is man, etc. all such knowledge. Spirit maybe here means that the ghost like this, atom, man, they see all different. They don't see that one same characteristic, Atma, soul, is in all living entities. But those who have transcendental knowledge, Parang Gurudev explained, they also see that jivas, they are eternal and that they are conscious beings, and therefore they have relative independence. Because of this, they have different now conditionings. According to their actions, they will have different paraphernalia, different tastes, different all these things according to their action, and then conditioning their nature. So it is unnatural to try to forcefully bring everyone into one fold. It is impossible because they will have different natures, tastes, everything. And he explains some are sattvic, some are rajasic, some are tamasic. You cannot bring them all to the same. They have different mentality, different taste, everything due to their free will and their results of their past actions. So that is why Vedic scriptures also give different processes for the upliftment for different people. Those who are tamasic, for them tamasic Puranas are there, and they have to follow that, and they will be able to accept that. Tamasic worship and that certain type of food. And gradually they can be uplifted to Rajoguna. And Rajaguna people, they have to follow what is prescribed for them. They cannot understand or have liking or follow what is the process for those who are sattvic. And those who are sattvic, who did not awaken transcendental knowledge, they also cannot understand those. So Parang Gurudev said tolerance should be there. Tolerance. Because people are in different states, phases, due to their relative independence. So it is impossible. That is why Prahlad Maharaj, he tried to explain to his father 3 times. Father asked, 2 times he asked him, and 3rd time also he challenged him. So Prahlad tried to explain to father, you please give up this demoniac mentality, but Hiranyakashipu would not accept. And his son, Birochan, Prahlada's son, Prahlad tried to explain to him many times that, and he sent him to that school and like this, but Birochan could not become a devotee. Why? Because all jivas, they have relative independence given by Krishna, and by their previous actions, they get certain nature, samskaras and nature and all this. So they will not accept. Though Prahlad is pure devotee, Uttamadikari, no any other, nothing, ideal character, ideal advice. But he failed to make his father understand, and he failed to make his son understand. But because of that, he was not disturbed. Because he knows what is the truth. That every jiva has relative independence, and certain samskaras they may accept or they may not. So he was not disturbed. And he was not blaming himself or being disturbed himself. I did not succeed in making my father devotee. I did not succeed in making my son devotee. I was not successful. And he was not disturbed because of that. Because he is not responsible for what other jivas are deciding. Other jivas, they have their own relative independence. I, nor Krishna, nor anyone can be responsible for what other jivas are deciding or what they were deciding before. That I cannot be responsible for that. If someone doing something wrong, and I think I am responsible because he is doing wrong, then I am in ignorance and consequently in disturbance. Because he has his own free will. I have my own free will. I can give advice, I can give explanation or like this, sympathetically try, but he may accept or not accept. And what he's doing is his responsibility. It is not my responsibility. And it can happen that even pure devotee, totally pure devotee like Prahlad, without any drawbacks, without anything, full power, he does not succeed and he accepts, yes, it is like this. He decided like that. What I have to do with this? Means what is, how I am to be blamed for what other persons are deciding. If I think I am to be blamed for what other persons are deciding, it means I don't understand what is the meaning of free will. That every jiva has free will. I don't understand this. With myself and with others also. Don't understand. But he was not disturbed, Prahlad, because he understood and he was happy when Bali Maharaj became devotee. Every jiva, as Gurudev told, they are to be duly respected because Krishna is inside and they belong to Krishna and they have value and Krishna has affection for them. But that does not mean that we are supporting wrong actions. Wrong actions are not to be supported. They are to be condemned. And also, if that some jiva does any wrong action, that jiva is doing that wrong action because of her own free will, not because of me. Because I am such and such, that is why he is doing. No, he is responsible for his own actions. I am responsible for my actions. So, Parangurudev said, it is impossible to bring everyone in this world into one fold. Everyone will follow same thing. It is impossible. And if there is no tolerance, then always there will be disturbance. Tolerance means that he is free to do what he's doing. You cannot force him. Like one tamasic person, to force him that he will follow sattvic religion, it is impossible. why would Vyasadeva write Tamasic Puranas, Rajasic Puranas, and Sattvic Puranas? Why? He could just write one, there is no problem. And everyone should be forced into that. No, he did not. According to their eligibility, they should be encouraged. And among different processes for advancement, there should be tolerance, not all the time conversion from one to another forcefully. That means I'm not having wide vision. So Parangurudev said that tolerance should be there of different processes of advancement, and also this bhakti, this is related to soul. So all souls can practice bhakti. This bhakti is not dependent whether one is tamasic, rajasic or sattvic conditioning. It does not depend on this. But it depends only on faith, transcendental faith, whether that was awakened or not, by Sukriti and by Sadhu Sangha. But it does not depend whether one is conditioned sattvic like this. But if someone, like as Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj said to our Gurudev, when he said, yes, you should go to Western countries, you should preach Mahaprabhu's message. He said, you have to inform them that by chanting Harinam, they can be rescued. So you should go and you should inform them. It is for all. And there are some persons who will accept. He didn't say all will accept. He didn't say this. All will accept. Some will accept. Those who have Sukriti. And one person also in Russia, he was asking Gurudev that why is it that sadhu is so rare? In this world we are all the time hearing sadhu is very rare. Then not all people can easily get his association. Then Gurudev explained that it is stated in Shastra, Bhaktistu Bhagavad Sangena Parijayate, and then Sat Sangha Prapya Pumbi Sukriti Sanchite, that verse is there. But who will get Sat Sangha? One who gathered enough Sukriti. And Gurudev clearly answered to him, not all will get Sadhu Sangha. Not all. It is in scripture. Those who have Sukriti will get. So we cannot forcefully achieve anything. Also, not all jivas in this world will accept sattvic religion. Not all jivas will accept rajasic religion. Not all jivas will accept tamasic religion. Not all jivas will accept gyan or bhakti. It depends on their situation and all this. So to forcefully try to, that is out of, Parangurudev said, you will find in his article in English, it is out of lust, out of some selfish motive, if we try to force, because it is unnatural. So under the guidance, we have to pray bona fide guru or pure devotee. They will explain. Gurudev explained that not all will get. And Puri Maharaj told, not all will accept Harinam. Not all. Although all are jivas, eternal servants of Krishna, but not all will accept, but some will. So for them, you have to go and show them the way. Yattu kritsnavat ekasmin karye saktam ahaitukam athatvartavap alpam cha tat tamasam udahritam. That knowledge is known as tamasic, which is attracted to a particular ephemeral object as to the perfect eternal being and is irrational, delusive, non-real and insignificant. Explanation: the knowledge that eating, drinking, making money, sexuality, and such other sensual enjoyments are the be-all and end-all of human existence is tamas gyan, which is derogatory, insignificant, ephemeral, non-real, irrational, and causal. So this exists in this world. And now in Kali Yuga, Rajogun and Tamogun is more prominent. Sattvic is very rare. So this exists, it is not fictitious, it exists. There is some kind of mentality existing in this world that eating, drinking, making money, sexuality, other sensuals are the be-all and end-all of human existence. It exists. And that is tamas gyan. But it exists. They can be helped from their position by proper means that is revealed by Shastra or pure devotee how to help. Note here, this knowledge is untenable, unreal, and hence worthless or worthless. But it exists. Real knowledge of the self is sattvika gyan. Knowledge of Nyaya philosophy and other scriptures teeming with divergent theories is rajasa gyan. And secular knowledge dealing mostly with physical and mental amelioration is tamasa gyan. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatah kritam aphala prepsuna karma yat tat sattvikam uchyate. That action is called sattvic, which is eternal and is performed without any attachment, love or hatred by one who has no selfish desire. Explanation. A sattvic karma is that action which is devoid of love and hatred, that is rag and dvesh in this world. I like this, I dislike this, I want this, I want to avoid that, based on bodily tastes and these things. So it is devoid. Sattvic jnana is devoid of this. And second, evil and ephemeral association, it is devoid of that, and selfish desires. So sattvic karma, that action is devoid of these three things: love and hatred, evil and ephemeral association, and selfish desires. Yatu kamepsuna karma sahankarena vapunaha kriyate bahulayasam tatrajasam udahritam. While that action is known as rajas action, which is performed with great exertion out of arrogance and selfish desires. Much exertion out of arrogance and selfish desires. A rajasa karma is that action which is full of desires and is done with great exertion out of conceit and overbearingness. 1 second. Overbearingness. Is not showing. No, not showing. Overbearingness. With great exertion, overbearingness, out of arrogance and selfish desires. Bahulayasam, much that. Anubandam kshayam himsam, anapekshya cha paurusham, mohat arabhyate karma, yatat tamasam uchyate. That action is called tamas, which is performed blindly, without any consideration of consequences, loss, injury to others, or one's own ability. This exists in this world. Tamas. They will not at all think about any consequences. Not at all. It exists. It is not fictitious. Even if they may see something they did cause them harm, still they will do that same thing, not thinking about the consequences. That is tamas. By certain our previous actions, we may be conditioned by tamas. It is possible. And we will be in prison house like. Then after some time, when we will that punishment for certain actions will expire, then again we can get some upliftment. But as long as that is there, we are reaping the fruits of certain actions and we are in tamas, then we will work as tamas works. They will not think anything. Only point is sense gratification and no any consequence or ability whether this is I can do or not, nothing. Loss, injury, if I have to injure others, no problem. That is no consideration. Whether animal dying for my tongue or people dying for my some other purpose or some, they don't consider this at all. They don't think. Their target is only that self-interest at any cost and no thinking about any consequence, nothing. That is tamas and it exists. Otherwise, why Krishna would explain these things? Explanation. A tamasa karma is that action which is blindly followed by worldly-minded men as duty, without any further consideration, without conforming to social religious principle, and with abject maliciousness. Malice means you harm others. Physically, mentally, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Mukta sangona hamvadi, driti utsaha samanvitaha, sidya sidyor nirvikarah, karta satvika uchyate. A sattvic karta or doer is one who is free from all relative associations, devoid of pride, full of patience and enthusiasm, and unconcerned with either success or failure, because he has no selfish desires. He is only doing his duty. Devoid of pride, and this is very rare. Now in Kali Yuga, very rare. Ragi karma phala prepsur lubdo hingsa atmako shuchihi harsha shokanvitah karta rajasah parikirtitaha. A rajasa karta or doer is one who is given to passions, who hankers after the fruit of his actions, is addicted to worldliness and fond of violence, and who is unholy and is subject to pleasure, pain, and grief. Ayuktah prakritah stabdah shatonaiskritiko lasaha vishadi dirga sutricha karta tamasa uchyate. A tamasa karta is one who is fond of unrighteous and improper acts, vulgar, haughty, and fraudulent. I will, for better understanding, I will. Vulgar, making explicit and offensive reference to sex or bodily functions, coarse and rude, distasteful, like this, and haughty, arrogantly superior, and disdainful. Disdainful, showing contempt or lack of respect, and fraudulent. Obtained, done by, or involving deception, especially criminal deception. Means you deceive others, unjustifiably claiming dishonest, deceitful, duplicitous, bogus, cheating, all this. So now, if you see in Kali Yuga, Tamasic and Rajasic people, they are in vast majority in this world. So it is like this. You cannot change this. It is Kali-Yuga. This is existing. Who causes troubles to others and is indolent, always sullen and dilatory in habit. So this also I will read. Indolent. Wanting to avoid activity or exertion means lazy, idle, like this. Always sullen, bad-tempered and sulky or depressed mood, and dilatory, slow to act, intended to cause delay, slow like this. So there are three gunas, and people, they are conditioned by these three gunas. In Kali Yuga, mostly Rajas and Tamas, very rare Sattvic. And Gyanis, even more rare, those who are after transcendence. And Bhaktas, those who want to serve Krishna, they are even more rare. So we have to have tolerance and patience and adjustment and do our duty and be tolerant. Otherwise, it is always disturbance. Tomorrow we'll hear further.